Good evening and welcome again here on Bridges of Light to a new episode. Today we have a very special guest reaching us from UAE, from United Arab Emirates. And she lives in Abu Dhabi, a city that I love because I've been there several times and I love to work there with these beautiful people. But she's from India originally, but she's going to tell us all about her. She's a writer, she's a therapist, she's a healer. Let me all introduce you to Nilofer Safdar. Hello, Nilofer, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Gaetano, for having me here. And also, I'm so grateful for Alexandra Von Hahn, who introduced me to you. I just adore Alexandra.
Yes, me too. Alexandra is amazing. She's not such a beautiful soul. Yes, she's very, very nice. And now, please do tell us a little bit why people are getting joining. I mean, we've been doing, we are on live like for 2 minutes now, even less, I think. Actually, 1 minute and 15 seconds, and we got already 12 people that have joined. So please do tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all.
So I've been living outside India for almost, I think, 25 years now. I lived in Saudi Arabia before and now in the UAE. And I have actually been healing in all this time. And I've worked with a lot of modalities. And currently, right now, what I work with is something called GFT, God's Freedom Technique. And in this, this healing is sourced directly from God. And I use a technique called energetic releases. So no matter what the issue is, we do energetic releases. And I also flow energy while doing the healing. And it's been really creating a lot of change for people since I've been working with this energy.
What is the gold therapy? Gold release therapy? Gold God? You said God or gold?
God.
Oh, God. Do
God.
tell me about this. I'm really interested. I think I've heard this before from somebody else, unless you are the one who has created it. But
no, I've not created it. This is called God's Freedom Technique, GFT. And this is channeled by this gentleman called Pradeep Mukherjee, and he is from India. And he is really an amazing human being. He's just amazing. And he only does in-person workshops, and he only does it in India right now.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, I would love this work to spread, but he says he doesn't have permission from God to, take it online till now.
Yeah, well, we can go to India.
Yeah,
we go to India and learn from him. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, for sure.
Yes. Let me tell the audience that have just joined so that they can prepare. Nilofer has told us that she's going to perform some energetic releases if you have any issues. So if you do have any issues at all, the people who are following right now, do tell us so she can actually, we can take messages and, if you want to be released by some kind of issues that is bothering you from time to time. We also have from Abu Dhabi, actually, a gentleman who is a speaker, a regular speaker here on Bridges of Light, and he's Dr. Bassam Sahab, who is also a therapist, as a healer, and is one of our special speakers. He does not only interviews, but also he's got his own episodes. So since our session today, it's called Clear Your Sabotage Programs with the Magic Wand. Now, do tell me, please, do tell us rather, what are Sabotage Programs?
So there are about 12 sabotage programs. Obviously, there are many more than that, but these are like 12 broad category that we go into. The first one is fear. So anything to do with anxiety, doubt, panic, etc. And a lot of us, we know fear, right? So that's the first one. The second one is, wanting. So we have this want. I want this. I want that. So that is another sabotage program, because keeps you in the loop, because you want something, you get it, you have like that temporary fulfillment kind of a thing, and then it goes away. So that's the second sabotage program. The third one is rejection. So I just did like a call with a group of people that I work with, and one of the biggest thing that everyone was talking about was rejection. If someone says no to something, whatever, so that brings up a lot of stuff. Then you have, attachments and aversions. So either, if you're really too attached to something, or you have really strong aversions to something, which is like, I hate this, I cannot stand this, those kind of things. So again, those are sabotage programs.
Right.
Then, of course, you have all the negative emotions that we have, the grief, anger, sadness, feeling dejected, and, all of that.
Right.
Then, really interesting is these thing called as programs. So like, if you notice that you might, experience a so-called negative event which occurs. But then what you will find is that, something like that or something similar to that keeps on occurring over and over again. So what happens is that the moment that negative event occurs, you kind of, solidify the energy of it, and it creates like a program within you which keeps running all the time.
Yeah.
So that is 6. Then you have, something which is going a little bit more weird and woo-woo, which is like entities and spirits, right? So those are also sabotage, energies that are present with us. Then,
well, I believe in that very much. I mean, you have with the work we do, we have a lot of people who are jealous of us. They get us all sorts of things. So I still feel not, because I clear myself, of course, but there are people who kind of leave things on you, on your energetic field, everything.
Yeah, definitely. No, but I'm talking about entities and spirits, like those things which you're called as ghosts. So especially, a lot of people might have these entities attached to them. A lot of times, these entities are also attached to physical spaces. So like, if you go into a space and you feel really tired there, or if people are getting into a lot of arguments there, or you have a property which is not selling, you cannot rent it out, so chances are you have these kind of energies there. Then you have something called as wounds. So these are like frozen energetic imprints which are created from an event which we cannot cope with. So say for example, you had some kind of physical accident, or you had some kind of emotional event, maybe suddenly you experienced someone rejected you and walked away. So these are wounds which are stored in our psyche. Then you have cyclic memories. People who have PTSD, and these things, they keep running over and over again in their minds, like the event keeps going over and over in their mind. So these are called as cyclic memories. So that is another what you call sabotage program. And then you have energies. These can be stuck energies. These can be distorted energies. These can be contaminations, like what you were talking about. These are all stuck in our energy field again. Then, a lot of people, they work with the inner child. So that is, the reason why we do inner child work is because, we have many unmet needs that we have from our childhood. And then the last one is traumas. And these traumas can be birth trauma, or these could be trauma in the womb, or sexual abuse trauma, or trauma of loss or things like that. So basically, these are the broad 12 categories of sabotages. And of course, within each one, there are so many. Like, if I sit and look at this, I would probably take one whole day or
Yes, much
days.
more, many more.
Exactly.
Now, going back to what we said earlier about trying to clear energy from people, energetic releases from people, for the people who have just joined us, there are like 20 people now watching us at the moment, I'm saying it again, if you have any questions for Nilofer, but also if you want to kind of have some energetic release today while we are online here with you, please write down what is the problem that is bothering you at the moment, so we'll try to get rid of it. I mean, Nilofer will try to get rid of it, not me. So we have, of course, Alexandra is here, and she is actually requiring some healing and some release for her eyes.
So, Alexandra, your eye pain, okay, let's do a release on that. So, all the pain in your eye that you have, let's release on that. So, let me know if anything has changed for you, Alexandra.
Okay. And also we have Bassam Sahab, who is the guy I told you about, who lives also in Abu Dhabi. He's asking for a recurring headaches. Any suggestions?
So everywhere that you are prone to headaches, let's release on that. And all the recurring headaches that you have, let's release on that.
And so Alexandra says that her pain is gone in the sense that it's 50% less. So that's very good, just like for a few seconds on the show here. And now we're working on Bassam, headaches, recurring headaches. And then we are...
And if you can give me more details about your recurring headaches, like, if there is a time of the day that it comes, or how often does it repeat? I mean, I know it's not going to be really fixed, but sometimes you have certain things which are in common. So if you can give me that, I can. And Alexandra, if you can also describe what your eye pain is like, we can release more on that.
And also somebody else is asking for a recurring stomachache. What kind of energy is involved to stop this problem?
So, so what I can do is I can do some releases on that. But if we really want to go very specific into your issue, then I scan through almost more than 50 things, when I work one-on-one with people, and that's how I do it. But let's release on your stomachache. Do you have the stomachache right now? Okay, so Bassam says it's for a friend about 3 times weekly. Okay. So, you were thinking about your friend, we released on that. So, maybe you can let me know later if he sees any change in that.
So Alexandra is saying, what does it mean when I see gray shadows in my peripheral vision?
Gray shadows in your peripheral vision. So, Alexandra, I think for you, what's occurring right now is it's the post-operative thing, right? You just had the surgery, so there's some stuff going on. And I know you from a long time, and I know you're really, really very, very, very intuitive, and you've been aware of so many things, and now your awareness is showing up in a different way right now. So yeah.
So also we have a lady who's asking about diabetes too.
Diabetes too. Okay. So all the imbalance in your insulin, let's release on that.
The imbalance in where?
Insulin. All the imbalance in your energy field around the pancreas, let's release on that. Somebody else is talking about bloating issues, and the doctors claim it is due to anxiety. So let me have a look. Okay, so all the anxiety that you have, let's release on that. Bassam Saab, you said that he's watching the thing. So if if your friend is watching and he can just give me some feedback about that, it would be great.
And Nilofer, before we go any further with all the questions, because there will be other people anyway, let's go forward a little bit with the interview, and then we gather more questions. Okay?
Yeah,
Do you mind?
Yeah.
Yes, I was wondering, what is this magic wand that you keep talking about? I mean,
exactly what I just did. The energetic releases. So basically, it's like I'm flowing energy coming from God, and also there are a few words that I use, and that's the magic wand. It's really like a magic wand,
Okay. And also, this is very interesting, especially now that most people have been extremely not working because of COVID, and they run out of money, they run out of jobs and things like that. How do you work with people with abundance and success? Still with your magic wand? We all want that.
So the abundance and success. So the biggest thing right now, what I see is that people have a lot of anxiety around that, So they are really fearful. They are afraid of losing it. So mostly people are functioning from a scarcity mindset, So they are like, my thing is limited and I'm going to lose it. Okay, so let's do a little release on that. So remaining, and also scarcity is something which is safe and familiar for us, because we live in it so much. Most people live in it so much that it is safe and familiar, right? So let's release on that. Remaining in scarcity is safe and familiar.
You're doing this for all of us?
Yes.
Oh, good. Amazing. Well done.
And then remaining in abundance and surplus is unsafe and unfamiliar.
When you're done, you tell me, okay? So I will read some question from the audience.
Yeah. Now, there's something very interesting. We have something called as the abundance mode. Okay, so there are three modes. So one is the abundance mode, one is the scarcity mode, and one is the stagnant mode. Okay, so the three of these together, they add to 100. Okay, so for most people, the abundance mode is less than 50%, and the scarcity mode is more than 50%. So let's do a release on, getting the abundance mode to 100%. Okay.
Okay, sure.
So remaining in 100% abundant mode. No, remaining in scarcity mode is safe and familiar. So let's release on that. And remaining in 100% abundance mode is unsafe and unfamiliar. So let's release on that. Okay.
Now, I have a very interesting question for you, but first of all, let me address this lady here, Mia, who says that she's got Crohn's disease.
So, Mia, can you tell me what is Crohn's disease? I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know,
Okay,
what it
Crohn's disease. Mia, please, can you be more specific about your disease, and we will work on it. Now, I actually would like to ask you, this is also for my own sake, but for some people here, how about using your magic wand for weight loss?
That's a good one. Okay. So, in the traditional sense, when people want to lose weight, they go on a diet or they do exercise, So,
Oh, I know. I've been there all my life.
Yeah,
I've been there all my life, Nilofer, so I know that very well.
Okay. So the way I look at it is very different. Like there are four things that I look at. Okay. The first thing is no judgment of your body. So the biggest thing that really will keep the weight in place is actually the judgment that you have for your body. It's so much and so insidious. Like I think 2 or 3 years back, I did this program called Change Your Body with Ease. And literally, what I told people was that all you have to do is you have to listen to recordings. So I am going to give you some recordings, and every week you are going to listen to the recording. So, the 4 weeks were structured like this, and these are the four pillars that, I'll talk about in weight loss. The first one is no judgment of bodies, right? So what I did was I had people fill out a questionnaire. And in the questionnaire, I asked them questions like, what do you think about your body? What do you hate about your body? What body part do you hate? And they gave lots of details. Based on that, I created a recording which was like releasing on all the judgments that people had about their bodies. And I can tell you, Gaetano, in the first week, people had so much transformation in their body. Like, I mean, I wasn't expecting it. It was just like out of my thing. The biggest thing they noticed was a lot of people who had a lot of pain in their body, the pain vanished. Some really big, diseases that they had, like someone had PCOD and things like that. They saw a huge change in that. People, they used to not like going clothes shopping because they would see themselves in the changing room and really judge themselves.
Yeah.
And some of them, they wrote to me and they said, after so many years I actually went clothes shopping and I shopped for clothes. So that was like a big thing. So that is one, the first thing you start with is no judgment of bodies. The second thing is the food that you eat. So instead of, going on a diet, you look at food that is nurturing and healing for your body. See, when you go on a diet, you are actually attacking your body in a way, because you're saying, I'm going to starve you. I'm going to give you these few things. So the second thing you look at is, foods that are nurturing and healing for your body. The third thing you look at is the movement. So people say, I have to do this CrossFit training, or I have to run a marathon, and I have to do this, and they're trying to push their body to do things that maybe the body just doesn't want to do. So it's like you're looking at, moving your body in a way that your body likes to do. Like a lot of times, have you noticed that you will suddenly feel like, oh my God, I've got to go for a walk, and you go for a walk, you go for a hike, and you just feel so good after that. So that is the thing that you're looking at. So that's number 3. And number 4 is communion with your body. So like our body has consciousness. So, what if you started to talk to your body? What if you started to ask your body what your body desired? So my whole program was designed in that way to address all these 4 things. And they just had these recordings I had created. You could just listen to the recording, and that's it. And the best part was that they didn't even have to listen to the recording like consciously. You could put it on very low volume and play it on a loop all the time, and people created some amazing changes in their body just listening to that. So
Oh, I must have this recording. You had to send it to me, please.
no, I'm going to do something better. Like I want to use GFT and do this weight loss, and this has been going on in my thing. So I want to do like a 21 days of group weight loss thing. So right now, currently, I'm doing 21 days of group healing, in which people just sign up, and every day for about 45 minutes, I do healing for the whole group, and people have been getting some amazing results. So I want to create something like that for weight loss. So as soon as I create that, you're the first person who is in.
Okay. But why? Because you are coming over to do some more sessions of Bridges of Light, possibly you can dedicate one session, one episode only on weight loss. Because I know that this is like a very common problems for many people. But can you release some of the weight for some of us who are listening to you right now?
For weight loss?
Yes, of course.
Okay, let's
By the
do
way,
it.
I am at the moment, I've been on a very strict diet for a month, and I'm doing some exercises. So my mind has already been set up. I've finally made up my mind about this. So, but I'm sure that there are other people that would like to lose a few pounds.
Okay. So let's go with all the 4 things that I spoke about. So the first thing is remaining in judgment of your body is safe and familiar. So let's release on that. And remaining in allowance of your body and loving your body is unsafe and unfamiliar. So let's release on that. Okay, and remaining with holding on to weight is safe and familiar. Let's release on that.
Oh, please, let's release that.
And remaining with letting go of weight is unsafe and unfamiliar. So let's release on that. Yeah.
Good. Amazing. Thank you very much. Let's now reply to some more questions. Mia,
Yeah.
saying that she got this Crohn disease, is an inflammatory bowel disease, and she had 15 centimeters of bowel removed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So all the inflammation in your bowel that you have, let's release on that. And all the fear that you have of a new flare up, let's release on that. So, I just want to say something here. See, any disease which occurs, it goes through all the subtle layers of our body, and then it comes in the most dense layer, which is the physical body, right? So, by the time it has actually manifested in your physical body, it's, the imbalance that you have has really grown a lot. So, to heal physical things takes the most amount of time. So that's why, when I do the sessions, I go through those 50 things, and, we work on multiple sessions and so on. But, when you look at other things, like you have fear and anxiety and worry and, all these kind of things, it's really, really easy to release all that, because it's still not yet solidified in the physical body in the form of disease. I'm sure you know that from all the work you do as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I want to ask you also, Naz actually asking you a question. When you do this for one person, does it clear us all, in the sense, for instance, somebody asked for diabetes 2. Now, if there are people that have got diabetes 2 in the audience, and you have released that person, that, that's released for all of the people that have got diabetes 2, for instance, or not?
Yes, because the way I'm doing is I'm connecting with all the people who are listening to it live now and who will listen to it in the future. And then I'm doing all the releases. So, if you have not exactly the same thing, but something similar, then you will be able to release some part of it as well.
And tell me, how long does it take? I mean, in the sense that if somebody comes to you and they have like an hernia, like one of these lady here, Martha, has got an hernia back and neck. But I also have friends who cannot move their back because they've been having hernias forever. How many sessions does it take for them to release the pain, but also to possibly adjust the column,
Yeah, so it depends, like when someone comes to me on a one-on-one session, I actually use my dowsing rod. I work with this rod, I check with this rod how many sessions that person requires. It could be anything from 6 to 21 sessions, anything. But one of the things that I'm doing right now that I told you is I'm doing these 21 days of energetic releases. So every day, I do releases for the whole group, and it's a group thing, and people have been having some amazing shifts that are occurring who are part of that program. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to give people a taste of it, like just to get a feel of that. And so I'm going to offer like 5 days of energetic release for free. So if anybody would like to, be a part of that, they are welcome. It's the website that I have shared with you. I will, post it in the comments later. So,
But then you can also come here on Bridges of Light and do some free sessions, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. But the ones that I'm doing with that group is a very different form of energetic releases that I'm doing. And I don't really go live or anything. I just have the names of people with me, and then I do the releases on them.
Okay.
But on Bridges of Light, definitely I can do something like what we've been doing today, and that would be, I love doing that.
Yes. Can you also please share with us some of your successful cases, both in the abundance and success, and also using your magic wand?
So I worked with someone, and she is also a coach and a healer, and she wanted to do like group programs, and she had about 7 people. Was the biggest group that she had, when she started working with me. And in the time that we worked together, she actually had like, I think 63 people signed up for her latest program.
Oh, wow.
And this was like over a period of, I think, 4 to 6 weeks that we worked together. So that is one thing with abundance. Another case which really like jumps up at me is I was working with this lady, and she had some issues with some property that she owned, and her son was actually looking after the property, and she was looking to get some loan for the property. And her son was alcoholic, and he wasn't giving her the proper documentation that was required. So in the session that we did together, I worked on her, I worked a little bit on her son. And, the next day she wrote me an email, and she said, I don't know what you did. It was just amazing. Because my son, he called me up. He was in tears, and he said to me, he acknowledged that he was an alcoholic for the first time, and he said that he wanted to go into rehab and stop drinking. So this was like a really amazing case that I looked at.
Great. Okay, well, Bassam says, anyway, do you want to read this question?
Can we see the magic wand? Is it physical? The magic wand is actually the energetic release that I do. So it's not actually physical. It's just like, I flow the energy that is coming from God, and that's what it is.
Yeah. So also, we would like to ask you, actually, there are some more questions here I was looking at earlier from, I think, Lavkesh said something here. Oh no, we've gone through that. We've gone through the recurring bloating issues. Okay, now, so of course, this is all energetic. You work with energy, I work with energy myself. So when I spoke to you, even without even looking at your face, I felt a very beautiful energy coming from you. And, it's because, of course, we are all one, we are all kind of connected, and the energy that we are sharing with one another, and also for helping people, is always very kind of, comes directly from the universe, from God. How do you see yourself working with so many people? Do you get tired? Do you get not tired? How is it? I mean, because for me, for instance, I never get tired because the energy that comes through is so pure that clears and cleanses me all the time, always. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it is the same. I I just am very aware when I work with people, right? So for example, when I start my 21-day program, then in the beginning, the few 2-3 days, sorry, 2-3 days in the beginning, I can feel the heavy energies, because I work with like really big groups, and so I can perceive those heavy energies. But by the time I'm into the session, maybe 15-20 minutes, then everything just lightens up, things are changing and shifting and things like that. And I don't necessarily get tired. Like, I sleep for about 4 or 5 hours a day. So,
Yeah.
I'm up by 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. I
Yeah,
just
me
cannot.
too. I wake up every morning at 4:30.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot sleep more than that. So I'm up, and I don't feel tired in the day. I'm quite energetic. So it doesn't really, I mean, this work when you do, I mean, I'm not the healer, right? I'm just a channel, and the energy is coming from God, and that's what it is. So
Exactly. That's what I've been saying for the past 30 years. I'm not a healer. I'm just a channeler. Well
yeah,
done.
yeah. And the healing when it occurs, it's the objective of the work is not healing. It's like whatever occurs, it is the grace of God. So if God wills it, then you're going to be healed. If God doesn't will it, then you will continue to have it, because there may be something which is a lesson for you in that, something, some awareness, something that you have to gain from that.
Yeah, of course. Okay, well, we have another question from Stefania. She says, I have pain in the lower part of my legs, in the back between my calf and my ankles.
Okay. So all the pain that you have, and anybody else, all the pain that you have, let's release on that.
I mean, all the pains we have, not
Yep.
just this lady. Okay.
Yep. Okay, and just take a breath. And I also want to just say something that please drink a lot of water, because a lot of stuff is getting released, and you need to flush out the toxins by drinking water. Stefania, can you tell me if you see any difference in the pain?
Stefania, can you tell us straight away if you have felt any difference in the pain? Because the magic wand of Nilofer works straight away. It's like that. So, and I also would like to ask all the people that have asked about their problems if they have received any improvement in their pains or whatever they had. If you feel anything, if you feel any difference.
So Basam Saab. So
Yeah, but that will ask like 50
with this,
questions all the time.
yeah. So with this, I really I'm not getting anything right now. I would really have to work with him one-on-one and go through the thing and scan it and see. Is there a specific time that he gets it? Okay. So Stefania says no, not yet. So not even 1% change in your pain. It's exactly the same as it was before I did the release on you. Can you tell me? Basam, if you can tell me what time of the day his headache starts, also could give some awareness. So everything within you and outside of you that keeps this pain in place, let's release on that. And everywhere where you are not willing to heal and come back to balance, let's release on that. Okay, so Stefania, take a breath, and everything everything within you and outside of you that stops you moving forward in life, let's release on that.
And the last question, Nilofer, is by this woman, Sabina, who says, I have a vestibular disorder and migraine too. And this is the last question because our episode, it's going to be end soon. So
yeah. So again, I don't know what a vestibular disorder is. If you can give me details, but let's release on the migraines, all the headaches, the migraines, the tension headaches that you have. Let's release on that. And Marie, with the type 2 diabetes, it's a chronic issue that you have. So it's like literally like a 2-minute release will not give you a very big change. You have to, work with it over a longer period of time.
On a regular basis, yes. Anyway, Nilofer, thank you very much for having been with us this afternoon. I really hope that you possibly can be on our shows once a week, possibly on a Monday, possibly around this time, but we will work it out with your schedule and our schedule, which is getting very busy, also the international part. So we're really pleased that you've been with us today. Please do say a few last words.
Thank you so much, Gaetano, for having me, and thank you, Alexandra, for introducing me as well. I really loved it. I love your platform. I mean, I was just sharing with you that it's so beautiful, so much that is going on, so much that you're making available to everyone, and it's great that you are reaching out internationally as well.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what else shows up over here. Thank you so much for having me here.
And so for all the people that want to join or want to contact Nilofer, you can actually kind of chat on this chat line here on the on the show we just did, or you can contact that directly on the website that is showing since we started the show tonight. So I really thank for all of you to have been with us. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so on that website, you can sign up for the group healing, like the 5 days of group healing. It's going to begin in July. So I would love to have you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Nilofer. It was a great pleasure to have you here, and we will see each other very soon. And thank you, everybody who has been with us this afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.